From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing, this is World of Wonder's Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the highly anticipated Seat of Your Pants Wow Report. I'm Fenton Bailey, co-founder of World of Wonder, and I am thrilled to be here with you to celebrate, dissect the moments that truly made us go wow this past week. I'm Fenton Bailey, co-founder of World of Wonder, joined by James St. James, the world's first celebutante, best-selling author, and the host of Wow Podcast Network, Night Fever.
How do you do? Welcome.
And of course, Tom Campbell. Now, for those of you watching, Tom is sat by a lake. So Tom is coming to us, I think, from the East Coast, somewhere.
I'm from New Hampshire, from Mountain View Lake, a little tiny lake my family grew up on. And I am, I've been spending some time here. So some of my topics will be New Hampshire flavored. Warning.
I love it.
J'adore. Let's start the countdown at number 10.
Number 10.
I've had time to binge watch, unlike normal, and I watched 16 episodes on Netflix of Leanne, the new Chuck Lorre sitcom, very traditional multi-camera sitcom starring Leanne Morgan. You know who Leanne Morgan is?
No, not a clue.
I'm so glad I'm here. Do you know?
I do, yeah. She became famous on TikTok, right? But
Yes.
late in age.
She's probably 60 now, in her mid 50s. She was like she's just a funny lady. She reminds me of Brett Butler a little bit. She has this incredible Southern drawl. She lives in Knoxville. She's married. She has 3 kids. They're out of the house now, and I guess she sold jewelry, like Tupperware parties, and she was just so funny. People said, you need to go out there and go to comedy clubs. So she went out to comedy clubs, and then she hired, during the pandemic, she hired like a social media person to service her clips, to like optimize them, whatever people do. And she became an overnight sensation at 57.
Wow.
Chuck Lorre, who's the showrunner of Big Bang Theory, Mom, which this reminds me a lot of. Like, the multicam comes back because it's cheaper, it's fun, and everyone says we want hard laughs. Well, then put it in a sitcom.
And it's kind of comfort food.
Thank you. All of this. So first I watched the 16 episodes, and then I watched her special on Netflix, which did really well, which got her this thing, which is like an hour long. And she's the most charming. As gay men, the one thing we usually get to avoid are perimenopause jokes. You know what I'm saying? But somehow Leanne makes it all palatable. She really does. It's those old tropes, those really relatable, like, I'm old and my breasts are saggy and whatever. Because during COVID, this is your stand-up, during COVID, because I guess her husband works for the biggest mobile home company. He's away 4 days a week. And she goes, it works for us. It works for us. And they have all these kids, and he goes, during COVID, he worked from home. And he'd come in the morning and he'd say, I've got a work list for you to do. And she's like, it was hard stuff. She goes, and then at lunch, he'd come into the kitchen. He wouldn't look at me. He wouldn't talk to me. He'd just put his hand on my breast and he'd say, what's for lunch? And she just looks like, oh, I just wish he'd talk to me. That's all I want. Anyway, I'm doing a terrible job, Liam. Forgive me.
It's her delivery and her accent that you probably do know who she is, James. You probably just aren't thinking of her. I'll send you a clip.
I think whenever I hear a Southern accent, I just tune out, Blake. I think that's just what happens.
No,
dare you.
I challenge you to embrace this one, because she's something special. Some of the critics are like, it's not funny. It's just a sitcom. It's like, that's what with the comfort food. Thank you, Blake. It's that warm Big Mac feeling. It's the Big Mac for your soul, not the chicken soup, but the Big Mac for your soul. The premise is that she's married to Ryan Stiles, who's a very funny guy. He was on,
whose line is it anyway?
Yes, he plays Leanne's husband, who has cheated on her, and she has just broken up with. So her sister, played by Kristen Johnston, who we love, who was on Mom.
You told me right there.
And she plays the sister who's always in trouble, right? Who always never gets. But now Leanne, the perfect sister, is in trouble, and Kristen gets to try to help. So it's really cute. And there's feelings and there's stakes, but it's not like a hate rage. Like Ryan is still in her life. They have kids. So it goes back and forth. Celia Weston. Yes.
Celia Weston was in my movie Freak Show. She played the maid.
She plays her mother.
Oh,
And-
she's wonderful.
And she's hilarious. And she's literally older. I think she can't stand very much. So she's sitting a lot. And it's hilarious.
You bought me it's Celia Weston, Kristen
Yes.
Johnston, and then it's a bit like Brett Butler. I'm sold. I'm right there.
Yes. Now I sit every day in fear that there's going to be something that comes down. She avoids all politics, but I'm just hoping we get to be fans of Leanne, that we don't have to cancel her for any reason. I'm trying to be abrasive because it's really heart stuff. But it's the 80s and 90s all over again, where as a sitcom tailored around a comedic voice, and I am here for it.
And it's made for Netflix, is it?
Yes.
All right. Well, let's move on. That's Leanne on Netflix. Let's move on now to number 9, James.
Number 9.
Another charming retro 80s thing. This week I went to go see Naked Gun, the reboot at the theater. And when I tell you it was the most fun that I have had in years, it was so good. They're saying it's the best comedy of the last decade. Very much in the mold of Airplane, Top Secret, Police Squad. It's all those stupid, silly comedies that we love so much. There is literally a joke every 20 seconds. That's what they come in with. That's what you hear. It is every 20 seconds they want a joke. And if you laugh, you're going to miss 3 of them. And there's some of them are going to fly over your head, but don't worry, because there's 10 more coming down the pike your way. It is so stupid and so funny, and you have to see it with an audience. It is, Fenton, you look like you've seen it. Have you seen it?
Oh, saw it, loved it, was howling from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And we went with Elliot, and like some of it went over his head. But as we left the movie theater, he said, "What was that joke about the toilet bowl gagging for the brown?" And I was like, "Oh!"
There he has a joke where he's talking about Pamela Anderson, and he says that she has a backside that would make a toilet beg for the brown. And he's like, "What?" It's like the dirtiest joke, but it's so funny. To me, though, the funniest bit is the menage a trois with the snowman that just keeps building and getting stupider and stupider, and it keeps going on and on and on, and you're just like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. And then there's also an extended scene where Pamela Anderson is on stage scatting, blah, 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 blah. And she says she's been telling in talk shows that she won a scat contest in 8th grade. So when she saw in the script that it called for scatting, she said, "This is destiny." Like, she went to the director and she said, "This is, Akiva." She said, "I am a scatter. I can do this." And so that's sort of how she won the role. But Liam Neeson, you think like, what? It's sort of weird casting, but he's so good. He's so funny. And then Pamela Anderson is just a national treasure at this point, and you love her so much. And the other good thing about it, and this is Elliot, it's 70 minutes long. You bang, 70 minutes. That's like 260 jokes or something like that. And then you're out. It's like, it's just perfect. It is the perfect way to while away a hot summer afternoon.
And just the scuttlebutt, the fun gossip around it is that supposedly Liam and Pamela are having a little, perhaps, relationship.
Well, not perhaps. They've been going on to the talk show circuit and just gushing about each other. And it is so sweet that, Liam has, he famously lost his wife, Natasha Richardson. And, you want him to find love again in his old age. This is just perfect for her. They really seem to care about each other. And you see the dynamic between them together on screen. And they're so good together.
Theron, who is the quintessential on top of all pop culture, right?
Through TikTok.
He was like, I've seen him on shows, but he had no idea that they were promoting a movie.
TikTok, he hadn't put it together.
Right. But I have to say the marketing is genius. You go to the Grove and the arms that go up when you go into the parking lot, they are Naked Gun. It's just so funny. And Elliot had to buy the soda with the flashing light, the police alert.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
It was a quiet audience. I was the noisiest, which I don't mind. But it wasn't empty. It was just like not, it was just New Hampshire people.
New Hampshire people who are a little, stodgy, a little,
Not Vermont people. Hanover, very snobby.
Okay,
not where I'm from. I enjoyed it a great deal, and I wanted trend alert, nostalgia, 80s, 90s sitcom, 80s, 90s movies. They're soothing our soul because things are so effed up. Pardon my.
Well, it could have been a misfire, but it was. I mean, it absolutely is so stupid, but it takes a lot of brilliance and genius to be that stupid.
My sister and I watched the original Naked Gun because there's 3, and the night before with Priscilla Presley and
Priscilla has a brief cameo in this.
Yes. I must say it's an homage beyond an homage. Like they literally they didn't steal it, but they stuck with every beat, the love montages, all those kind of things. It was great to see it all back on.
Right. It's like a sonnet. It has a certain template and a formula that they reinvent, but also don't betray. And oh my God, the O.J. Simpson cameo, I thought I literally was gasping. and like, how are they going to get out of this one? How are they going to navigate it? So
it is, you can go back and watch Naked Gun, and the Police Squad TV series is sort of the same thing. Airplane movies, but also I just wanted to sort of point out, if you're doing a deep dive into this type of comedy, Top Secret was a movie in 1984. It was Val Kilmer's first movie, and he was so adorable in it. That's why he became a superstar. And it's that same type of
producers. It's the Zuckers and all. Yes, David. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so if you get a chance, watch Top Secret.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep with this theme because this past weekend at the Hollywood Bowl, went to see
number 8,
Jesus Christ Superstar. It was on for 3 nights. Cynthia Erivo, Adam Lambert, and a whole host of other people.
Cynthia Erivo is Jesus. I mean, that's the scandal right there.
Well, yes. I'm going to get that. And I was like, Jesus Christ Superstar, I remember it from the 70s, kind of disco, kind of part of that sort of evangelism moment. Probably hasn't aged well, but will be a fun night out. But, oh my God, from the opening buzz, I was like, this is hits on 45. There are so many hooks and riffs. I just think it's so brilliantly written and constructed, and it is a staggering work of genius, number 1. But then number 2, having a Black queer Jesus in the form of Cynthia Erivo, female Jesus, is
chef's kiss.
I never imagined that a 70s musical could feel relevant in this moment. Mm-hmm. And yet, suddenly the Pharisees and the people so intent on killing Jesus just come into stark relief. You know exactly who they are. It's the MAGA lot and all the Christian right lot that you're like, oh my gosh, I would never have thought to imagine it or see it that way. And Cynthia is so good. I mean, there are really no words. And the fact that Adam Lambert plays Judas, and by the way, I have to say, Jesus Christ Superstar is brilliantly about Judas. It gives Judas a really good, meaty role. And just the fact that she is so tiny and he is so huge, and they put him in giant platform boots in addition, the whole thing was just brilliant. And there was a moment when, just before Jesus's arrest in the Garden of Gethsemane, that she sings a song so powerful. Tom, it was probably like that moment of fantasia that you sometimes talk about. The audience rose to their feet and the show stopped for a standing ovation, and tears were pouring down our faces. It was so fabulous.
You say that you went into it thinking, how could there be, how could this music, be relevant? The music, every single damn song is just, it builds, it's better than the last one. It all comes, literally, it is such a breathtaking work of genius. It's a masterpiece. And when you think of Andrew Lloyd Webber, you think of Cats.
You think of Starlight Express.
But this in Evita, there isn't a clunker in the bit. I mean, they're all just
and the way they call back to each other and are interwoven, it's very modern. It's almost like a mashup before mashups.
Yeah.
Tom, it's the only thing I truly, profoundly wish you had been able to see.
Well,
you too, James, of course. But
you could have seen it, James. You could have just walked up and bought a ticket. I was stuck here. I don't want to sound like Megyn Kelly, but I have a big problem with this Jesus Christ Superstar, and I'll tell you why.
God.
Jesus Christ was not bald.
Oh, how do you? I think there's a lot of Christ-like qualities in us bald people.
I love the way also it really didn't feel very Jesus-y in the sense that she represents any marginalized, victimized outsider person. It isn't sort of proto-Jesus. Do you know what I mean, James?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like she was.
There was a great quote, and I wish I could remember it. How she's and it was said to placate the MAGAs that she's not pretending to be Jesus. She is a Black LGBTQ woman who is doing Jesus. It's like there was like a differentiate. There was something there that was like
she's very, very restrained. It's almost like she's a blank slate onto which everyone can impress their hatred and their hostility and aggression and their lack of insight and sophistication. And that's what Judas and the Pharisees and Pontius, but that's also what comes through. It's so much about these people feeling threatened by
love.
By goodness, by love.
Yeah, but not preachy love. That was the weirdest thing. She was just this energy, this presence, and everybody's piling on. It was
FOMO does not begin to explain the sadness I have watching. Everybody I know was there, one of the nights, and everyone except for James, and everybody had the same kind of experience. It was a revival of sorts. And
you sort of wish that either they would film it so they could get other people could see it, or it would move to Broadway or tour or something. Because
I'm sure they will, James. It's too
good
to.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. Drag Race Philippines Slajan Royale premieres Wednesday, August 13th on Wow Presents Plus worldwide with 2 amazing after shows, fashion photo review and binge queens. Slajan Royale is really, really great.
I just have to say, I see lots of campaigns and lots of pre-campaigns for lots of our shows, and I love them all. This Slajan Royale campaign has got me hooked already. I swear to God. The queens and their entrances are going now or online, and it looks like a blast. And like people are energized like never before.
Just go to wowpresentsplus.com and sign up if you haven't already.
Yes, I have a question. Who purchased the home and museum of famed paranormal researchers Ed and Lorraine Warren, making this person the caretaker of the Annabelle doll?
We'll have the answer right after the break here on the Wow Report.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with Tom and James and Blake.
Yes, and I had a question before the break. I asked, who purchased the home and museum of famed paranormal researchers Ed and Lorraine Warren, made famous in the Conjuring universe on the big screen, making this person the caretaker of the Annabelle doll? Now, it looks like James knows whose it is. Does everyone?
I don't.
Any guesses?
But they aren't even going to know once I tell them, because that's how out of it they are. But I've been talking about this guy forever and ever and ever. It's Matt Rife, the comedian, who is so cute and so adorable, but such a pain in the ass lately. And I think online the hate for him is so overwhelming that everyone says they hope Annabelle gets him, kills him, because he's just insufferable.
What has he done to upset you?
Well, he's really cute is what it is. And he knows that he's really cute, and he acts like he's really cute. And he does this back and forth with the audience that just gets a little like, you're insufferable. I'm so cute. I'm so funny. So go get him, Annabelle, is what I say.
Well, he wasn't the only one. It was him and YouTuber Elton Casti.
Oh, well.
They apparently went in together.
Of course, I love me some Elton Casti.
Oh, that throws some prestige on it.
Yeah, I don't know who Elton Casti is.
We are counting down the top 10 things of the week. Made us go wow. Number 7, Tom.
Number 7.
For those of you watching, I'm in New Hampshire, you can tell, and this is a New Hampshire adventure. I've been going on some hikes with my brother and sister and nephew, and my brother has been involved in our hometown of Newport, which is 7 miles that way. Newport, New Hampshire, population 6,000. There is a mansion called the Corbin Mansion that's been there my whole life, and it's also attached to or very near Corbin Park, which is hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of acres of.
This is Corbin Burnson, who
close. It goes back to Austin Corbin, who is one of the most successful robber barons of the Gilded Age. So here I am in my bed. James, this is so you. I sent you a link. I know you can't watch everything I throw at you, but the house is for sale, James, for $2.5 million.
They're giving it away. Why
don't we all pitch in?
We should. It'll be the taxes and the maintenance. It's a series of houses. First of all, Austin Corbin was born in Newport, New Hampshire in the 1800s. And he sort of was a lawyer. He went to Harvard Law and, but from humble means. And then he decided to strike it rich and go west. West was Iowa.
Of course, yeah.
That long ago. And so he went to Iowa. And I guess when there was one of these big bank fallouts, which is happening right now on the Gilded Age, he was like one of the only banks to make it. In a flash, he became one of the richest men in America. So he moved to New York, where he was a dominant force in banking in New York. He created the Long Island Railroad. Like he put together all those pieces. And while it wasn't the longest track of railroad, it was the densest populated and the most profitable of any of them. So just money after money after money. Unfortunately, he also used slave labor, like, prison labor. He had some close relationship with some bigwig in Italy, and they would basically get poor people to agree to come to America and then become indentured service to him. Oops.
Well, that's why they're robber barons. They
exactly.
robber people.
And it kind of put things in perspective because how we're so rooting for handsome what's his face on Gilded Age.
Yes, George Russell.
And they're just doing what they're supposed to. He's also supposedly, by the way, Austin Corbin, incredible anti-Semite. My brother's been involved in the house and selling it. And supposedly somebody who lived there brought in a seer, someone who talks to the dead, and they had a seance, and they don't know who showed up, but he said, why are there so many women here? Why are there women in here? So it sounds like it could be him. He lived all over the place. That place is everywhere, but he was in his house, Corbin Mansion in Newport, New Hampshire, when he jumped on a carriage and a horse, and it was starting to rain, and he was coming down from his thing. He flipped open an umbrella. It spooked the horse. It flew him. His head hit a stone wall and he died in his 80s, but he was still a force. Now, here's what he's left behind. This beautiful house, this beautiful estate, which is full of antiques and genuine carvings. I thought, well, it's going to be a wreck. It's an old building. It's going to be dusty and musty. It's rugs, Persian rugs everywhere you look, Ming vases. Like, James, you need to come because you would appreciate it. You too, Fenton. But it's just exquisite, and player pianos, and a lot of the house has low ceilings because at the time it was explained to me that it was meant to be more cozy with a low ceiling. But then you go into the grand hall and it's gigantic and it's just huge and chandeliers and I don't even know, I can't even dream drop, but like well-known pieces of that time and before. So that was incredible. But he created, this is what I knew growing up, that Corbin Park, he stocked bison there, which we call buffaloes in America, but I guess they're bisons. And in the West, because there was poor management and all this stuff, buffaloes were extinct or next to being extinct. And the only reason they still exist in America is because this guy stocked Corbin Park with bison. And it was sort of this wildlife preserve / hunting ground. Make that work for you. But Grover Cleveland, Herbert Hoover, Teddy Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, Joe DiMaggio have all hunted there. and so I thought that was kind of interesting. And the other interesting thing is his brother, Daniel Corbin, also from Newport, New Hampshire. There's one other Corbin Park, and it's in Spokane, Washington, because instead of going to Iowa, he went to Washington and became hugely rich in Washington. So you've had a little bit on the ball in 1870. You could own the world. Well, let's buy it.
2.5 million, and you get 110 acres, I think.
You don't buy Corbin Park because that's
get the whole park, just a bit of it. All right, moving on. Number 6, James.
Number 6.
I stumbled across on TCM the other night a movie, Go Ask Alice, which Tom, if you are of a certain age, you know exactly what this movie is. It is based upon a best-selling book from the 70s, which was a diary of a young girl, of a teenage girl, a real life story, the real life story of Alice. And she's telling the story of how she falls down this rabbit hole of reefer and drugs and horse, and she ends up running away from home and becoming a prostitute, anything to support this devil habit of hers. And I remember that my mother had the book and she put it on the highest shelf of the bookshelf. And she said, you kids are not allowed, no matter what, you are never allowed to read this book, which of course meant she wanted us to read the book. And so of course our whole lives became reading this book. And
I love it. She knew you so well to do
knew
that.
it so well. And it's because it's a cautionary tale. Don't ever smoke reefer once or you'll be addicted, that type of thing. And it's a step below reefer madness. It is so corny. I'm jonesing for a hit of acid. I need my black beauties, baby. Give me my black beauties.
I have not seen it since it first was on, but it changed my mother tucking life.
Yes. Talk about cautionary tale. It scared the bejesus out of an entire generation.
Okay.
It was one of the first TV movie of the weeks.
No. It was an after school special. It was one of the first after school specials, so that every child in America came home and watched it, is what it was. And it is 70 minutes. Again, it's 70 minutes. And by God, you see her. She's this lovely girl. She smokes some reefer once. The next scene, she's shooting up heroin. The next scene, she's running away. The next scene, she's a prostitute, begging her pimp for more.
Sound familiar?
The Tom Campbell story.
But looks like it's shot through a potato. I mean, it is so. But if you want to know what fashions were like for teenagers in 1973, if you want to know what suburban high school was like in 1973, this is your movie. And I'm going to tell you the big end, the big surprise ending.
Wait to the end. William Shatner plays the dad, right?
William Shatner is the dad. Mackenzie Phillips, it is her first role. Andy Griffith is the pastor.
Yes.
Ruth Roman, the old movie star.
Yes, love Ruth Roman.
Ruth Roman, yes.
Before you give away the ending, because that's going to give me PTSD and I might have to stop the radio broadcast, I do remember, I think it was this movie where they show like her at a party and it's like a psychedelic party and like pills are like in candy dishes.
Yes.
Like I remember my dad once asked my brother after like an All in the Family about pot or something. My dad goes, do you have any pot at the parties you go to my older brother? And he's like, well, yes. He goes, well, what's it like? Do they pass it around on a tray? And I was just like, oh, drug
it's exactly what this is. It's very much like you're injecting the marijuana into your veins. Like they have no, and the thing, okay, the two things about this is that number one, it was supposedly a real book written by a real girl who went through all this. It turns out it was a middle-aged woman who is pretending to be a hip teenager, and so like that's how she gets she gets everything wrong.
I don't believe you.
But the other thing is the very end, she's been in San Francisco. She runs away to San Francisco. She becomes a prostitute. Everything, she just hits rock bottom. But then she comes back and
they find her. They bring her home.
They find her. They bring her home. She goes into rehab. She goes into counseling. She comes back to school and she's just the same old Alice that she's always been. And she's writing in her diary and she says, I think from now on, everything is going to be okay. And then it's smash cut and it says 3 months later, Alice was found dead of an overdose. And then she had stopped writing in the diary and nobody knows what happened in those 3 months. But the lesson is never do drugs, children.
I get that. It feels like there's a sequel in there then, like the missing those missing months.
3 months.
As corny as that all sounds, it's not unlike the trajectory of some people's drug use. And I think it was well intended by a different generation to try to save their kids.
It was something that we all were terrified of. I didn't do drugs for another 6 months because of it.
I would say I went till I was 35 to get really deeply involved.
All right, we're gonna go on.
You can cut this part out. But I remember in Florida, I had a friend who was very, dangerous, who was a bad boy, and he took me to a party where, honest to God, they had a candy thing, and it filled with pills, and you didn't know what they were, whether they were uppers or downers or black beauties, or and everyone had to take a pill and then see what would happen to them. That really happened.
What happened to you?
And you snorted all of them, didn't you?
I took I think it was like a yellow jacket or something. It was an up. I was just speed.
You learned nothing. You learned nothing from that movie.
Yeah.
He took all the pills and stuffed them up his butt.
Next week on the Wow Report.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Salesian Royale is coming. Very excited about it. And I just thought take a moment to look around, look outside the USA at some of the shows that, well, actually, having said that, I was going to look at the shows in Asia that are changing minds and changing hearts and just blowing everybody away. But actually, the first one I want to start with, and I should just preface this by saying I haven't seen any of them. But buzz is very strong, and I think maybe you might have seen them. But the first one I want to mention is K-pop Demon Hunters.
My nephew wanted to watch that.
I have watched this, but I stumbled across this the other night. Yes.
Well, I've heard that it's like the song on it is like racing up the charts.
Oh my gosh, the soundtrack's top 10 of the Billboard blah 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 for weeks. In fact, I think currently they have 9 songs in the top 100. It's an animated movie. Written by a Korean, written and co-directed by a Korean. And essentially, James, right, it follows a K-pop girl group called Jinkx. Love that. Who lead double lives as demon hunters. So I guess
it's a little bit Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana meets Buffy is what it is. And they're rock stars, they're superstars, but then they go off stage and go hunt demons. And when I tell you, it is so funny and so smart. It's obviously for kids, but like the humor is very adult. It's very, very well done. It's so, and as I was watching it, I kept thinking Fenton will just go bananas for this.
Well, I don't know how I've missed it, but I am very excited to watch it, and we'll probably be doing that tonight. Yeah. They face off against a rival boy band called the Cyber Boys.
I'm sorry, I'd completely forgotten about this until you're bringing it all back to me. And the boy band is so cute. Oh my God, yes.
And they are secretly demons.
Yes. Brilliant. The girl bands are demon slayers, and the boy bands are demons. And
the rest writes itself. Am I right, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, they sort of fall in love with each other. It's so good. It's so good.
I mean, it's Netflix's biggest animated movie ever. It's original IP because, we're living in an age in which no one wants to do original IP. And so everyone's like, oh, it works. It's so weird.
Yeah, well, your homework is to watch it and then come back next week and give us another report on it.
My nephew wanted to watch it, and my brother and sister vetoed after 5 minutes. So maybe I'll have to watch it on my own.
Oh. As great as K-pop Demon Hunters is, there is this other AI microdrama, all entirely AI made, that's doing gangbusters in China. I think it's like 170 million views. It's called Nine-Tailed Fox Demon Falls for Me. And apparently it makes absolutely no sense. It's like men giving birth to litters of foxes, a woman with a wound, breaking the antlers off a gorgeous looking guy who just happens to have antlers, and then she makes antler soup, and I mean and crunches them like Cheetos.
Is this scripted or is it AI scripted?
I think it's AI. I think the whole thing is brought to you by AI.
There were some shorts that we saw that Randy introduced us to that we were so excited about. We're like, oh my God, we figured out a way to do a series without any writing or any notes or anything.
Oh no!
And then you watch 2 or 3 of them and you're just like, my soul just went away. No one's telling me a story.
Well, apparently it makes the story. There is a story, but it makes absolutely no sense. And
which is something that the Chinese audience probably loves because it's so bonkers. Yeah.
From a Western perspective, actually, I do find sometimes like following Chinese or Asian dramas, sometimes what is going on? I don't always know. But I just put that down to, lost in translation kind of thing. But this sounds of a different order of magnitude. But it really is quite beguiling. And they say that, on the one hand, it looks like clip art fed into Mid-Journey, but it's curiously addictive. And that sort of the wrongness of AI is what is people are finding not comforting, but I guess compelling. And the other thing I just wanted to mention is a 10-episode drama called 0 Day Attack. And it's Taiwanese. And the basic premise is a Chinese fighter jet crashes in the waters off Taiwan. And Chinese warships gather round to do the search and rescue. Except they're not really doing a search and rescue. They're actually staging an invasion, getting ready to invade Taiwan. So it's all about China invading Taiwan. It's a multi-part drama. Apparently it's doing really well. You can't actually see it, although there is a 17-minute trailer on YouTube. A 17-minute trailer.
17 minutes. You can do that, James.
There you go. That's enough.
Almost as long as Naked Gun.
But what
Almost
I didn't
as long as
realize,
the segment.
Hey!
oh, what I didn't realize, and then I will stop talking and just cry myself to sleep, is that it was actually partially funded by the Taiwanese government trying to raise awareness about the Chinese threat and to get people to care, because there's just a worry that China is going to invade and no one's really going to do anything when it happens.
Welcome to 2025. Nobody's
Yeah.
doing anything about any threats.
All right, let's take a break. Happy Endings with Bruno, starring Bruno from the pit crew of Drag Race, is giving massages to guests. Only on Wow Presents Plus, which is why you should go to wowpresentsplus.com and sign up right away. Blake, we got a question?
We do. What did Charles Darwin and Abraham Lincoln have in common?
Okay.
Oh, we'll have the answer right after the break here on the Wow Report on Radio Andy.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with Tom and James and Blake. What was the question?
What do Abraham Lincoln and Charles Darwin have in common?
Ugly beards. Tom.
They both slept with Mary Todd Lincoln.
Died on the same day.
They were born on the same day.
Oh!
Oh, so close.
February
So close.
12th, 1809, much like me and Lil Wayne.
Well, you know who I have the same birthday as? Dom DeLuise and Tempest Bledsoe.
Oh my God. The
Well,
same
Tom-
exact birthday? Like same year?
birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Lil Wayne?
No. And Yves Saint Laurent too.
Oh no, this is
We're
the exact
age
same
as
day.
Tom DeLuise. How dare you?
Well, that is nothing. I'm the same as Avril Lavigne and Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, you wish.
We're getting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go, wow. We've reached number 4.
Number 4.
Lonnie Anderson has left this plane and gone to the next. So, baby, if you ever wondered whatever became of me, I'm living on the air in Cincinnati, WKRP. She is the one of the ultimate 70s TV stars, 70s, 80s, because you did not know who she was. On a Monday, she stars in WKRP in Cincinnati as the super smart, not dumb blonde, and she is an overnight sensation. She was the next Farrah, right? She was posters and everything, and just really kind of captivated the pop culture. She made a number of, and she was wonderful on that show, and that really is one of the great. I kind of watching clips of it since her passing. I want to watch it again because it was really, really smart and really, really fun. But she did a lot of TV movies. She was a TV queen.
Well,
including-
the best. Now go.
Yes. 3 Coins in a Fountain. She did reprints, but she did, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago because of the Jane Mansfield documentary. But she starred as Jane Mansfield in the Jane Mansfield story,
With
co-starring
Arnold Schwarzenegger
a
as
young
Mickey Hargitay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in one of his first acting as Mickey Hargitay, one of his first acting roles.
Oh.
Terrible. One of the worst made for TV movies of all time.
Oh.
And looking it up because it's on YouTube, and Fenton, I suggest you watch it, make your own decision, because that was I was 1980. I'm 17. I'm not doing my homework. I'm watching a 9 to 11 o'clock TV movie on CBS, and I looked at it again recently, and to me, it's like a documentary. It's like the truth. It's like it's so deep in my psyche that I'm like, this is exactly how Jane Mansfield looked in 1970s clothes, cheap.
With 1970s hair and 1970s makeup, yes, and halter tops, yes.
She also famously and infamously co-starred with and then married Burt Reynolds. And I was servicing a client, not that way. Bob Goldthwait, when I was in management, Bob Goldthwait was in Scrooge the movie, and I went to see him on set. I was so excited. It was my first set visit, and I didn't do anything. And lunch break happened, and we crossed through on Hollywood Center Studios. We crossed through a thing, and from the behind, I saw these two figures, and I just couldn't make out if they were young or old or hot. And I turned, I was sort of circling around them, and as they became the view became full frontal, they were Burt Reynolds and Loni Anderson. They were not Burt Reynolds and Loni Anderson from the side. They were Burt Reynolds and Loni Anderson from straight on. They were designed for the camera and the camera only. Thank you very much.
Were they on set for their TV show Evening Shade?
They could have been evening. They, for all I know, they were playing Win, Lose, or Draw with Burt Convy. I don't know. It was a lot of that.
Because Evening Shade is in Arkansas, you know.
I love that. Poor timing. QVC, been watching that long. When she was married to Burt, they came up with, it was kind of like Burt's surprise ring in the Loni Anderson collection. The Loni Anderson collection's signature piece was a rhinestoned stiletto heel. And there was a Burt Reynolds surprise ring. And she talked about how they went to Hawaii. And earlier in the day, she said, "Oh, I love that bracelet," or "I love that ring," or whatever it was. And so she went to dinner. She opened up her clam, and there was that ring. And I made a story later on to my friend John Tones, and I have trouble telling you all of it because it's so dirty. But I came up with the whole thing where, because they also broadcast the QVC first time from satellite from their backyard in Bel Air, and Dom DeLuise and Charles Nelson Raleigh showed up because we were always worried about Burt not being straight. And I came up with a different surprise story, which involved going to Danny Thomas's house, a glass coffee table, and the release of a jewel fund within,
what is wrong with
and that
you?
was called
Kids are listening.
But Blake's saying we're way over.
Well, I don't get it.
Way over the line is what it is. Just way over the line of good taste. Hello. I just want to tell you, my Burt and Lonnie story. I've mentioned this before in the show that when I was growing up, we lived on the river in Fort Lauderdale on New River, which was called the Gold Coast, the Millionaires Row. And across from us was
I know, right?
but I'm telling you the truth. Lee Majors lived in the house across from us, and I used to look in my binoculars and watch him in his underwear all the time. And about 6 doors down, that was Burt Reynolds and Loni Anderson, and across from them was David Cassidy was living there, and then Corinne Schreiner from General Hospital was also a little ways down. So we would see Burt and Loni at the Publix. We would see them at Winn-Dixie. They were out and about, normal people in Fort Lauderdale. Burt had a theater there in Fort Lauderdale, in Jupiter, Florida, and it was Dom DeLuise and Charles Nelson Riley were in. Billy Hayes, I think, was always in it too. Witchy Poo from So they were considered like, they were royalty in Fort Lauderdale at the time, as was, Lee Majors, and we never saw David Cassidy. He was a recluse.
James, I hate to interrupt you, but it's time to go to number 3, which is you. So keep talking.
Number 3.
Tom, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to close your ears for this one because it's going to be a little upsetting for you. It was announced that starting on August 28th, the Sphere in Las Vegas will be having an AI-enhanced, AI-augmented version of The Wizard of Oz. Okay?
I think I'm okay with it.
No, you really aren't. You really you are not, Tom. You are specifically not.
I'm really upset about this one, James.
No, because not only do they augment the sets and everything, but they augment Judy's performance. Like, how do you do how do you add? Add to the performances of the Wicked Witch, of Glinda, of Judy. You can't do it. And on top of that, they cut 30 minutes from the movie. How do you find 30 minutes to cut from a masterpiece? There's not 10 minutes to cut from the Wizard of Oz. And basically what you're seeing in the Sphere is a fisheye lens where it looks like Auntie Em and Uncle Henry's house is Penn Station because it has to go all the way around the Sphere, so it's a fisheye lens, and that you just distorts everything. The one cool thing is they do show the inside of the tornado. So you spend 5 minutes whirling around inside of a black and white tornado, which is sort of interesting. But Now, the fascinating thing about this is that Ben Mankiewicz, who we love from Turner Classic Movies, we love Turner Classic Movies. He is unfortunately the chief promoter of this, okay? And people are furious about it. When I say that people online have been calling this disrespectful, an atrocity, an unsightly mangling of a classic, an affront to nature and art, and they're saying, I hope they're paying you a lot to sell your soul. But Ben Mankiewicz is doing that Trumpian thing where he is doubling down, tripling down, and getting in a little snit online. And he has been nasty to these people who are being nasty to him. So you sort of like, apples and oranges, whatever. But instead of saying, look, I hear what you're saying, and you're going to have to see it to believe, to understand what it is. But he says, I've seen it. You haven't. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm logging off because I don't have to listen to this anymore.
This may be the first time Ben Mankiewicz, host of Turner Classic Movies, has ever gotten hate tweets, though. Let's be honest. That's just it, because
he's a great host. He is, he's beloved. He stepped in when Robert Osborne passed away, and he's really done a bang up job. But
the other person who you can't say anything bad about, but who's also seemingly in support of this and was at the premiere was Lorna Luft. In my mind, before you started explaining it, but I was just thinking it was going to give you sense around. You were going to, there'd be stuff behind you. And
you don't need sense around for the inside of it.
Yes, but you're in the sphere. It's not like you're playing it in a movie.
I'll send you the image that I saw that really upset me, where Judy Garland is like this big and she's with Toto, but then her bedroom is even more. And you're like, no, Dorothy did not have a bedroom the size of Grand Central Station.
And when Dorothy starts to break dance, it's just like it doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let me see.
I think you're done.
I do think there you go.
We're cutting 10 minutes out of your segment.
I like.
And how can you cut 10 minutes out of this masterpiece?
All right, number two. February 14th, 2005. We probably know that was the birthday of YouTube. And I think we've talked about YouTube's first 20 years before. But in celebrating YouTube at 20, everyone's like, oh, it's so great. There was this, there was that, But actually, what's going on at YouTube is basically the future of all television. And I just wanted to talk about that quickly. I mean, it's not just the fact that 20 million videos a day are uploaded to YouTube. It's that people now are watching YouTube on their TVs. In fact, most people are watching YouTube on their TVs.
Yeah. It
is taking the place of regular TV channels or regular TV services. And I think last June, it was like 9.9%. And now they've taken the lead of 12%. They are the most watched platform on the planet, and it is only growing.
Well, I know that we're on YouTube, so we, that we're part of the problem, I guess.
Oh, no, there's no problem here. I'm saying it's almost a change that has happened by stealth, almost because I've just read lately in the last week or so, a lot of articles about the way YouTube is suddenly what's really happening. For example, another example is podcasts. This week, Wondery, who were one of the biggest podcast producers, laid off over 100 people.
I know. That shocked me.
Well, and it's because podcasts with audio only are on the way down. Everybody's doing podcasts with video.
So smart.
Three people chatting away, talking on camera, about nothing.
You with Night Fever. That's a Night Fever plug. You can watch it on Wow Presents Plus or on YouTube.
It's just interesting the way what began with cat videos is now people making what is called Prime TV. Prime TV, because it actually is watched on TV, and it isn't necessarily a user-generated thing of a cat video. It will be like a full drama or a full show,
And there are people who on their televisions watch cat videos. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
I see you.
No harm, no foul. Let's go to break. And when we come back, the number one thing this week that made us go, wow.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. Fenton here with Tom, Blake, and of course, James St. James. We've been counting down the top 10 things of the week that made us go wow, and we've reached number 1.
Number 1.
Number 1, I just wanted to give a big shout out to our girl Jinkx Monsoon, who, bless her heart, she has taken over the role of Mary Todd Lincoln in Oh Mary this week. She's taking over from Titus Burgess, who had it last. Of course, Cole Escola famously won the Tony for it. She is on such a roll right now. She had just been on Broadway. It isn't Pirates of Penzance. It's Penzance, a Pirates show or pirate. It's something like that, but it's based on Pirates of
So they reinvented the Pirates of Penzance. And
you're
okay with that, right?
Well,
because you can't do it to the Wizard of Oz.
You're trying to trap me, but yes, I'm fine with reinventing Pirates of Penzance.
Okay.
I'm fine with updating a 200-year-old. Sorry. So anyway,
Jinkx Monsoon is the gift that keeps on giving.
So good,
right?
so gorgeous, and so fabulous. I would love to see Oh Mary again, just to see her. So God bless Jinkx Monsoon.
Spoiler alert, going to go see it in
Jealous.
a couple of weeks, because taking Nolan to NYU and going to go see it. Also, did you see that amazing interview that Jinkx did with Jinkx Jinkx did with Z-Way? Is it Z-Way?
Z-Way, yes.
Yeah.
It was great. She asked about J.K. Rowling, and then
I did see that, yes.
Jinkx went off with this thing like, Jake, what is this J.K. you're talking about? That's not a very feminine name.
Somebody sounded like they would get more book sales if they were a man, if they thought they were a man. So she transformed herself into a man.
A fantastic takedown, wasn't it? It was a brilliant dissect, as if she was just like had a few drinks and was just like shooting the shit, but it was actually like a meticulous assassination of pretense. We've had so much fun. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, James. Thank you, Tom. Same time, same place next week. Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
wow.